Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, when you do the fun, done go. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from his monstrosity.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Build a wall, no, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go. No. Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has the devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stone me and save my life? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out here.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here this evening for the second stream of the day. And things are getting more and more interesting by the moment. Oh, yes, it definitely is. We just had... Oh, wait. You guys, I see people complaining about the intro. You know what that means. Complaining about the damn intro. I'm kidding. I'm not going to make you sit through it again. Okay, anyway. I bet everybody's like, fuck. Come on, dude. Don't do this to us. But anyway, a lot is happening right now. And we're going to get into all of that. surrounding the Epstein situation, man. Tree Bear on Tree Bear's birthday, 5 gifted memberships. Everybody wish Tree Bear, the meme king of G&G, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Tree Bear. Thank you so much. Mod Eric says, please, everyone, click on your icon in the upper left, scroll down to leave feedback. Let YouTube know you hate the name change. Yes, they have changed the names in the chat. We thought that might have gotten corrected, but here we are back to it again. So very frustrating, to say the least. Zinni Biscuit says, if Bondi is fired or resigns, she will go full anti-Trump and will promote Elon's New American Party. I would support Bongino or Gates for AG. That's going to be the topic of the evening. Mod Eric says, if any one of them leaves, it means 0. Nothing changes and no charges for anyone. It will all be show and show alone. I don't disagree. I rarely ever get headaches, and I have a fucking massive headache right now for some reason. But it doesn't matter. Show must go on. Mac Jerry says, Bondi is making a press release in blackface and an afro to announce she is African American to make it harder for Trump to sack her. River Miles says, the King version of this song right here is better than the Queen version. JRG Project says, Bondi was always a problem. She always held back DeSantis in Florida till he replaced her, and she was ineffective during Trump's endless lawfare. Mod Eric says, speaking for everyone, we would like to complain about the host. Great show. The host is great show. Just the host is lacking. And I Lucifer says, love to see you and Dankula on a stream again. I think I've only been on a stream with him like once or twice, maybe Friday Night Tights, maybe. I'm not sure. But look, Tucker Carlson is making some waves right now at the Turning Point USA event. And this may be the last time he is ever invited back. Because as I said, this is the Streisand effect, and Trump is usually the best at handling and managing a situation. And his handling of the Epstein situation has been all-time bad. All-time. And I'm going to show you some clips of that here in just a second, because I think that it's the worst thing that Trump has done as presidency in terms of how he has handled this situation. Doc Hollywood for a proper 199. Holy crap. Says the intro is fine, but boobies are better. What boobies are you talking about? Would it be these right here? The jiggle physics? Everyone appreciates jiggle physics. Very, 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 very respected around these parts. Thank you, Doc Hollywood. Chat, make sure you thank Doc Hollywood. Let him know how much you appreciate that.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm going to do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Thank you, Doc Hollywood. Hail to you, brother. Ryan Miller says, I watched the Fox News clip saying that the White House said that Trump is happy with Pam Bondi, thinking that she is doing a great job and trying to attack the base. They are not helping themselves. No, they're not. They absolutely are not. And so this clip right here is what I think. This is where everything, obviously it was already a problem. There was already issues, but this is where the issues got elevated. And this is why firing Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino leaving, Kash Patel, it really doesn't matter. This is where it all goes back to right here.
Yesterday with Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney, Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape?
Yeah, sure. If I
Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
He's not wrong in the fact that we have so much success to talk about, but he's wrong in trying to dismiss a concern. And by dismissing that concern, it has elevated this to a place that I don't think that he was prepared for.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing.
Someone says, is he dismissing it or is he just saying there are more pressing matters in Texas? I mean, he could have said that. He could have said, hey, I know that's probably a concern from your perspective and many people might be talking about it, but right now we're a little more focused on Texas and whatever. But he straight up was like, why are we even talking about this? His answer, terrible.
From the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Somebody said, Jeremy, Trump doesn't talk like that. I disagree completely. Trump does that all the time. Trump does that all the time when he doesn't want to answer a question because there's a more pressing topic or something. Like when he's at when he's at the desk and reporters are asking him something, he goes, now's not the time to talk about that. He will move on from it immediately. He does that all the time. Now, he may not say like, I know people are asking about this, maybe that level of it, but he 100% all the time says, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this.
And that's it on Epstein.
I'm Steve Doocy.
So
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
So that's the clip right there. Now we move on to where it's led us to. But first, we've got Mark of Reality for $50. $50 says, love the stream. Other than the Epstein situation, we have some pretty positive developments. Border jumpers are knowing the way out, lowering rent prices, clearing up traffic in LA, opening up jobs for Americans, etc. And I just got paid. Thank you, Mark of Reality. I 100% agree with you. I hate that we're talking about the Epstein stuff, and I can't just ignore it, though. It's so glaringly there that it has affected me focusing on a lot of the good news surrounding the Trump administration. And to be fair, I spend the majority of my time celebrating Trump and his administration and his accomplishments. But this one thing, I just can't just ignore this because it's spiraling and it's becoming a snowball effect. And I just can't not focus on it because it's such a big problem. And it's becoming a bigger problem minute by minute right now because of the administration's handling of it, unfortunately. But I do appreciate that, sir. And you are correct. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about. Now, and we're going to continue on there because the discussion is moving in a place that I don't think anybody in the administration wants it to move. And this is what happens because Tucker Carlson at the Turning Point USA in Tampa just said this on stage, and this might be the last time he's invited back.
Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting US president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interests. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes.
This is what happens when you try to shut people up. This is what happens when you tell people you're not allowed to talk about something. This is what happens. It's called the Streisand effect. This is the situation that Trump has put himself in, and more people are talking about it, including Megyn Kelly and Charlie Kirk at the same Turning Point event.
Do you think there's any intel community involvement in this?
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I am convinced, based on my own sources and my own reporting on this story, he wasn't one of ours.
So he wasn't American, which leads basically three options: MI6, Saudi, or Mossad.
Yep.
Which one would you choose?
I guess Mossad, given his connection to Ghislaine Maxwell.
So what does that mean?
Well, I mean, it's possible that that's the reason everything's getting buried, that there is some treasure trove and it's getting buried because...
How many people here believe that? Raise your hand. Okay, I'd say about half the hands think that it's being buried because of an Israeli thing.
It could be. I really don't know.
And I have no evidence to suggest that.
No, me neither. I did think it was very odd how, look, half of you raised your hands because you've heard that theory, you've heard it debated, you have questions, but the one time Pam Bondi was asked a question about this at the cabinet meeting on Monday, she was like, and as for whether he was an agent, that I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I'll get back to you. You haven't looked into it? What do you mean? So that was kind of a fishy answer.
And Megan, remember Alexander Acosta in 2007 He said he was told to treat Epstein carefully because he was an intel asset. That was one of Trump's cabinet secretaries who was literally a U.S. attorney 3 hours from here in Florida. He said that himself.
Well, and let me tell you the consequences of that. His subpoena, his search warrant on Jeffrey Epstein's residence was very narrow. It was not the kind of like, let's get everything. Let's see everything inside this guy's, dressers and so on. It was very, very narrowly tailored. And to this day, that's what the FBI is stuck with. So it really is possible that Dan and Kash got in there and, in like a Geraldo and Al Capone's vault situation, opened it up and we're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing in here. Like, we did not find the magic documents or photos or evidence of anything. And
this thing is getting out of control right now. And this is not going away. And it's now reached a level that I didn't even think was possible with the amount of controversy surrounding it. Now you have reports that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are threatening to quit the FBI unless Pam Bondi is fired. This is the meeting that Pam Bondi is going to be having with Kash and Dan Bongino. What would you say you do here, Pam? If you know the movie, you know the movie. This is from Office Space. This is a great meme. So right now, reports are that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are threatening to resign if they do not get some answers. Holy crap. John freaking Murdoch, 450, says, hey, Jeremy, good to see you. It seems like it's been forever. Skipped FNT because I didn't want Superman spoiled. In any case, thanks for slogging through this stuff and giving us bite-sized pieces. Thank you, John. Appreciate it, man. I hope you enjoy Superman. We are very divided on that. A lot of people, but a lot of people are liking it. A lot of people are disliking it. So I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. And let me know what you think of it when you see it. We have another $100. See, this is the weird thing. So I can't tell who the names are, but you're saying this is from a different account. Hello, this is, and I still don't know how to say it, but you said it's short for Bridget. My money to D-Day Cobra keeps getting refunded by Google. That's crazy. So trying again from another G account. You do a great job. God bless you all. Your name is short for Bridget. I grew up with a bunch of drunks in an Irish tavern. That sounds awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know why your money's getting refunded. Is this how I was defeated? Is this what happened? Is this how Keemstar defeated me? This is probably how Keemstar defeated me. I'll show you what I'm talking about here, okay? Hang on. I used the, I know Tree Bear had a meme for me as well. Let me find it. Come on. Have I been tweeting that much lately? Geez, I guess I have. I usually don't tweet a whole lot, but I have been replying to a lot of people recently. So right here it is. So here's Keemstar replying to one of his haters, and he showed a super chat list of the most super chatted channels in the United States, and little old D-Day Cobra was third. So you have Keemstar's Lolcal Live, the Whatever Podcast, me, and then I Show Speed. Is this why? Because you're refunding people? Like that $100? That could have helped. That could have helped. So, of course, Jay tags me in this one, and thank you so much. Keep me posted. Email me if you keep having that problem, though. Jay tagged me, says, yo, D-Day Cobra, you got some work to do. So I said, this is my stream tonight. The quartering, my channel is under attack. So this is going to be the new grift for me. My channel is under attack. Please, please help me. Save me. I need your help. Thank you for the $100. I do appreciate it. Mark of Reality for another 50. Says, okay, enough screwing around. I want to see the search warrant, the one Megyn Kelly talked about. It should be publicly available document, but I have a strange feeling that it's going to be hard to get. Yeah, man. Like, well, I've got some clips from Megyn Kelly that we're going to show as well about all of this. But yeah, I mean, like the situation has the situation is out of control. You have this clip right here of Charlie Kirk with Steve Bannon. And listen, if you disagree with anything Steve Bannon says here, okay, but I agree with everything Bannon says.
As good as it gets. We are here with Stephen K. Bannon. Steve, you've just been yelling for the last 2 hours. You're pretty fired up about this Epstein thing. I just got a call from someone in Washington. Let's not say his name, but he was like, wait.
A very dialed in guy. Super dialed in.
Really
super dialed in
guy. And he's like, wait, is this Epstein thing kind of big? I thought it's over. And so, first of all,
they think it's over because the media had 8 minutes of President Trump asked 20 questions and didn't mention it once. So even President Trump thinks it's over.
And so, Steve, what is your recommendation, your suggestion on how to fix this?
There's only one way to fix this. We have to come out of Tampa, just like the Patriots did on doing like the Boston Resolves. We have to come out with the Tampa Resolves. 2 or 3 action steps by Sunday afternoon. We're all committed to, all of us, to say this must happen. And I think it's special prosecutor ever. But we have to say no more, nothing. We have to go forward with this. And the reason we're going forward with this, we're there to assist and augment President Trump, to help save President Trump's presidency, because they are coming for another coup. You can see it happening. Just like the dark clouds were around Kennedy, right? They moved in and moved in and moved in. They assassinated Diem in Vietnam, and then they blew his head off in the middle of the day in Dallas, Texas, with a patsy named Lee Harvey Oswald that we find out 62 years later was on the payroll of the CIA after they looked your parents in the eye and lied to them for 60 years. They're going to lie about everything today and hope that 70 years from now, nobody will care about it. Do you care about it? If we don't come out of here united with Turning Point, as powerful as Turning Point is, if we don't come out of here and say, no more, nothing more, we must have this, because if we don't take down the deep state, we're going to lose the entire country. And they think they're winning. They're laughing at us right now. They're laughing at you. They're mocking you. This is the Epstein is the question's very simple. Who governs this country? The American people or the deep state? Do they have the consent of the governed on what they're doing right now? I hear a lot of talk. We're going to see some action.
Now, Steve, so special prosecutor, who would you recommend, and what does that scope look like? Because special prosecutors can be kind of a dead end sometimes.
It can't be. My recommendation right now would it be Tom Fitton. Tom Fitton's not a lawyer. He can hire all the lawyers. Does Tom Fitton have credibility with everybody?
I'm almost there.
If Tom
Fitton
looks you in the eye after everything he's gone through and fought for and said, here's what it is, would you believe Tom Fitton? Would you believe Tom Fitton will release all the documents? It's very simple. You name Tom Fitton a special prosecutor. He brings in a team of actual prosecutors. You go to the court, and the first thing you do is petition the court to unseal all the sealed evidence, right? Number 2 is you collect all the other evidence, not just from the FBI and the Justice Department, from every agency in our government, and you put it forward, right? By the way, there may be some victim issues here. That's going to have to be dealt with. You're going to have to deal it. Do you guys want to see everything or just some things? You want to see everything? And you're prepared to take the accountability if that happens? Are you? Are you? You got to do a gut check. That's why we need these resolves this weekend.
See, this is the discussion that's happening across the board right now. The only people that are not talking about it are the people that are surrounding Trump, which is a problem. The people that are directly surrounding Trump are not talking about this, and that is a huge issue that needs to be discussed. And you gotta let whatever Kash and Dan Bongino are cooking up. Hopefully, they're cooking up something, but I don't know, man. We shall see. Eric Heffelfinger for 20 says they probably started destroying Epstein documents the second it went to trial. Half the problem is that the administration hasn't taken any steps to find out who did it, show evidence of it, and have been dismissive of everything. 1,000%. John freaking Murdoch for a proper 199. Holy crap. For your LA YouTube host defense fund, I wonder who is going to write the tell-all book about how the Trump administration really screwed up this Epstein thing. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I don't know if I don't know if Trump is actually cooking. I have no idea. I don't think he is, but we're 6 months into a 4-year run. Maybe he's got things cooking in the background. I don't personally think so, but it's all I can do is judge them based on what they have done up to this point, and what they've done up to this point does not seem very beneficial. For proper 199, I'll show you guys what I consider to be a very, very nice picture. Okay. I saw this hit my feed. This is a picture of Anna Paulina Luna at Turning Point. Okay. So not bad. Not bad. I think this is a very good picture. I respect this picture. I'm sure you respect this picture. Great personalities. Great personalities. Okay? Great personalities. That's the proper 199. Got you that one right there. So I respect them. And you do too. So, not bad. I respect it a lot. But yes, I almost lost track of what I was talking about when I saw that picture. All right. Let me take that off the screen or I'm going to forget everything. Thank you, John Murdoch. I appreciate it, brother. Now there's another clip. There's another clip that I have to show you. I got to find it. Showed you that one. Showed you that one. What is this? Okay, here. Okay, so you got to look at this right here, okay? So it says, according to the Daily Wire, source close to the DOJ said Kash Patel also wants Pam Bondi gone and that he'd consider leaving if Bongino leaves.
I'm not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get
So
that?
for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto.
See, it's so weird listening to Kash Patel back in 2023 versus Kash Patel now. It's so weird to hear it.
From the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
It's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list. You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released.
So again, everybody says that maybe there isn't a list, because the Biden administration and the DOJ under Biden destroyed all this evidence. That's fine, but that's not what Kash Patel was saying before getting into this position. So now the people, are holding him to the same standard that he was holding the previous administration to. Is there anything wrong with that? Am I not allowed to call out the FBI director? Because Kash was allowed to call out the FBI director when he was there, but we're not allowed to, apparently, because Kash is there. Interesting how that works, huh?
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election.
Somebody said he didn't know it was gone. Then why is he talking like he knows what's going on? If he didn't know the answer, why is he talking like he did know the answer? And now why is it he's completely changed his tune and his tone now?
Coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything. But how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress. And this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
So there you have Kash Patel from, back in the day, and now just seems like a completely different person. Now you also have AOC may have put in she may be in some trouble with this one. AOC has said, who would have thought that electing a rapist would have complicated the release of the Epstein files? Oh boy. She didn't imply, she directly accused. This is going to create some problems for her. Some big problems. This is going to be a big problem for her. Because it was ABC, right? George Stephanopoulos. He's the one who, or Slopadopoulos, as Trump likes to call him. I think it was George Slopadopoulos who said Trump was a rapist. And Trump sued him for $15 million or something like that. So, Slopadopoulos. So that's not a good move from her. And it is good that we continue to hear these idiots making fools of themselves. Now, some people on the MAGA side will say, this is what Trump is doing. He's baiting them into saying dumb shit so he can destroy them. And it's like, come on, man. That's not what's happening. That they're saying the dumb stuff, but it's not because he's just intentionally making all of this negative stuff happen so that he can bait them into saying stupid shit like that. That's not happening. You also have Stephen A. Smith is commenting on it. The political mind of a generation, Stephen A. Smith. Wait, Glenn Beck just tweeted that Dan has resigned? What? No way. Hang on. This is what you're talking about? So incredibly bummed. Dan Bongino is going to leave the FBI. This is a huge loss. Not just for work to be done, but also for the credibility of the FBI. Dan is someone millions of us trust and know he will do the right thing when others won't. This is 100% Pam Bondi. The first names, the quote names, the names are on my desk. Then the NY FBI office is obstructing us from getting the list. Then there was no list. Probably the only thing that was perhaps true. Interesting. So it doesn't say he's saying that he's going to leave the FBI. He's basing this off of the reports that he's considering it. So he's not saying that he did, but he's basing this off the reports that he is going to resign. So that is not him saying that he did resign. It's him saying that he's going to, which essentially is just Glenn Beck. He's leaning into the reports a little too much, but nothing of there confirms anything. But I do appreciate you letting me know about that. But you interrupted what was going to be a very, 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 very educational take from Stephen A. Smith, the greatest political mind of our time. A lot of sarcasm there.
Trump, no matter what you may think about him, if you are on the right, you could not ask for better than what he has done, because what he has done is what they have said they wanted and have been trying to get done for years. And even they admit that he's doing their bidding, yet they're in an uproar because the Department of Justice said there's no client list and the Epstein file case is closed. Really? I mean, I'm wondering I got to talk to Steve Bannon. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to some of these people, the Tucker Carlsons of the world and everybody going crazy over the
Dude, it's like listening to him. Like I used to watch Stephen A. Smith all the time on ESPN, but like listening to him bring that Stephen A. mentality to a non-sports debate show is so cringe.
Epstein client list? That's what you're concerned about? I mean, you've got such a hard on for the president that you are losing your mind with all the things. Again, if you are a member of the right, you're a centrist, you're a leftist, you can't be too happy with what he's doing. But on the right, you have the audacity to look at this man like he's I don't want to be facetious, but you're treating him like he's the Antichrist right now because of the Epstein list. That's what you're mad about? I do find myself a bit shocked by that. I'm like, damn, I expected folks on the right to have a lot better things to complain about than that. But they really, I don't even want to bring up his name, but you know who it was that was crying on his podcast, a few days ago because the Epstein list wasn't released. Really? Really? That's what Bongino, I respect the hell out of Bongino. I really, really do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything he said, but I have profound respect for him and his service to our country, being, doing the things that he has done.
People are saying Stephen A. on the list.
But that's what you're reportedly contemplating resigning. You're the deputy director of the FBI. Really? But
Trump. Well, Stephen A., this is what happens when you have a group of people within MAGA that are willing to hold people accountable, because this is why MAGA is the greatest political movement of all time, because MAGA will hold Trump accountable and not back off when we're upset about something. It's how it's always been. It's how it's always going to be. And now we have this report right here from John Solomon. Says Trump supporters calling for accountability should get ready for some big surprises in the next 10 days. I think he also says that it's not true that Kash Patel is reportedly considering resigning, but Bongino is. So let's listen to this clip.
There are reports out there tonight that Kash Patel is considering resigning alongside of Dan Bongino. It is not true. My reporting makes very clear Kash Patel is going nowhere unless the president tries to move Kash Patel. He's there for the long haul. Why is that? Because the FBI has a major investigation that looks at the last 10 years of what happened to Donald Trump as one large conspiracy.
I don't know what is in the background, but I'm hearing an echo or something, but it's on the audio feed here that we're listening to.
Case. No one's going to give that opportunity up. Now, it is true that Dan Bongino, he's taking a few days to reconsider whether he wants to stay in the job. That's his decision. He's gone through these things before. There have been times when he's been on radio. He got mad, took a couple days off. I bet you he'll come back when it's all done. But Kash Patel is going nowheres. And I think next week, over the next 10 days, the base who's been wondering, where's all that accountability? They're going to get some big surprises over the next week concerning where the conspiracy began, a few weeks before Crossfire Hurricane was open, and when it ended, all the way in 2024, when they were still trying to pursue Donald Trump to keep him from winning the presidency. There's a big case that's been built by the Justice Department and the FBI. It's been masked by a lot of this infighting and drama and soap opera stuff. But the truth of the matter is, MAGA base Americans are going to be happy when they see where this is all heading in the next few weeks. Kash Patel is going nowhere. I hope Dan Bongino isn't going anywhere, but I do think he's going to take some time over the weekend to think that through.
So there you go. So that's good news. That's good news. We'll see if it happens, but that's good news. And this is why people have to keep the pressure up and keep the pressure on, because, you know, I mean, if you're, you know, that is, if you are, you know, unhappy with the situation. I will say this, like, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because this is so long ago. I believe that was Jeff Sessions Trump's first attorney general, right? Was it Jeff Sessions back in 2016? Am I right about that? Jeff Sessions, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Was his first AG? Yes. Okay. Who's his next AG? Who's the next one? Oh, Barr. That's right. And is that the only two he's had up to this point? So it's been Sessions and Barr? Okay, so I think we're seeing a pattern here that Trump is not good at picking his attorney general. Trump has not been good at picking the attorney general. So, to be fair, he did pick Matt Gaetz, and they shot him down. But it looks like Trump is really bad at this one. This is maybe one of his weak points right here. Ryan Miller says, "Oh, I got that one. Thank you, Doc Hollywood, for that proper 199." Journal Duality for 10 says, "I have been working on designing my own IDOT since the reveal of the IDOT, and it's in the final stages, plus an origin story that I'm still working on. I can't wait to show it off soon. Hail the 199. Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing that one. Can't wait to see it. That's going to be awesome. As a matter of fact, if you're interested, we do have the limited edition IDOT Alligator Enforcement Agent 199 shirts. Those will be available for a limited time, not too much longer, but we have the hoodies, the stickers, all that crap, t-shirts. Mods will be dropping links. And of course, the CobraCast stuff was supposed to go away tonight, but people have asked, so I'm extending that until Monday. So Monday night at midnight, CobraCast stuff goes away. So if you're interested, whether it's the hoodies or the t-shirts or any of that, whatever you're interested in, go over there, check it out. Monday midnight, those will go away. So make sure you check those out. Okay, back to super chats. Even Beardo for $1. Thank you. Star Wars Stripe says improper 199. Too Tired says, I watched the body language guy's interpretation of this. He zeroes in on Bondi and her shit-eating grin here. Oh, talking about the when Trump was talking? Okay. Let me see. Sola Felix says, the same minute missing. What the fuck? Scam Bondi. East Coast Toasty Boy says, no matter who takes over as AG, whether DeSantis, Gates, or whoever, it won't matter if Trump won't let her do his job. Trump is the boss. I don't disagree with you. And this has been one of my, like, we can blame Bondi if we want. We can blame this person. We can blame that person. But ultimately, Trump is the boss. He's the one that has to make this a priority. Thornhill Squared for 10 says, unseal the court docs from the Ghislaine case and remove any court orders that prevent peeps from talking. Bam. Got him. Got him. Mac Jerry says, we should never have Epstein fatigue. There are countless anonymous children behind the case that deserve justice, and we should shout loud for them. I agree. Sola Felix says, Got that one. Burp shit says, who are the perpetrators in the videos? Come on. Exactly. Like there's so many questions that continue to raise every time that they talk about it. Nips Litter says, great job at D-Day Delta Roll Tide. Mike says, Trump's about to make a ton of waves. Let him cook. JJ says, this is what happens when you defy politicians and bureaucrats. Mike says, if Trump sides with Kash and Dan, then what? If Trump sides with Kash and Dan, that means Pam Bondi gets fired. Legalize adulthood for a proper 199, everyone. A proper 199. Legalized adulthood says Dave Rubin called. He says the last time he had a Texas flood was when he went to the Chippendales in Austin and couldn't control himself. Bondi is a disappointment. She's just looking for more TV appearances, but I still trust Trump. Not going to give up that easy. LFG. Thank you, Legalize Adulthood, who also drops 20 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Thank you, Legalize Adulthood, you mad lad. The man, the myth, the legend, Legalize Adulthood. $200 super chat. Insane. Thank you, brother. There's a clip of Megyn Kelly criticizing Pam Bondi, if I can find it. Where's it at? I gotta go through my bookmarks. Hang on just a minute. So there's a clip of Megyn Kelly calling her out. Is this it? Hang on. Is this it?
And there's also so President Trump should be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and there's all sorts of things he's focused on. I just don't think this has captured his attention quite yet, but it needs to, because it's starting to create a real hornet's nest within the administration. And I've got to be honest, I blame Pam Bondi. I'll tell you why, okay? I have nothing, yes, incompetence, yes. I have nothing against Pam Bondi as a human being. I was fine with her nomination and her confirmation, and she's been loyal to the president. And I get that President Trump needs a loyal attorney general. Look what happened with Sessions the first time. He went away, and then the next thing you know, we had the Mueller investigation, and it was a nightmare. But there are a lot of other people who can be loyal and competent in that job. Here, she is the reason that things are unraveling around this story right now that virtually all of the Republican Party cares deeply about. It's also true that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel had questions about Epstein before they took office, okay, before they went into the FBI. But once they joined the FBI, they said nothing. They've kept their mouths shut about Epstein. You have not seen them, except for one joint appearance with Dan and Kash on Fox, running all over the media looking for attention on this, yes, clickbaity story. Who have you seen? Pam Bondi. She has never missed an opportunity to go on television and dangle sweet nothing.
Dude, that is so accurate. She was always going on Fox News and just running her mouth instead of doing her job. This is so accurate.
And dangle sweet nothings that might be coming your way. Try to lead you to believe that she's got it. It's on her desk. It's coming tomorrow. You're going to see something on Epstein. And it was a tease. So you either believe that Pam Bondi was telling the truth then, or that she's telling the truth now, but both cannot be true. She was either lying when she went on Fox News all those times saying, I've got it, we're looking at it, wait until you see it, it's horrible. Or she's lying in her 2-page memo that they released on a Sunday night at the tail end of a holiday weekend to Axios, as if Axios is where we all go for our news. Hell no. She went to someone she knew would not kick the tires on the story, and without signing the memo, dropped it in the dead of night and said, that's it. Take it, take the crumbs and be happy. Refused to come out and give a presser, come out and give a press conference, stand there for 6 hours to the point where people are dying of boredom. They've asked all their questions. That's how you put a scandal to rest. But she wouldn't even sign her name to it. And I'm telling you, I have dollars to donuts. It's gonna come out that there was internal consternation over that memo and whose name did and did not go on it and who it was and was not behind it. And so now you have a situation where her words on the record on Fox News are diametrically opposed to what she put in this memo. She's embarrassed the president. She's embarrassed herself. And Dan and Kash, to the extent they've had to sign off on that, let's understand the FBI is controlled by the DOJ. FBI is subservient to DOJ. She's their boss. That they're in this position where the only comments they've made on the record as administration officials have been, we don't think he killed himself, and we don't think he got murdered. We think he did kill himself. We've looked at the tapes, and Kash to Joe Rogan saying, if I saw all these tapes of Jeffrey Epstein with little girls, trust me, I would show you, but I haven't seen it. Okay, so what they're saying now is consistent with what they've said since they joined the office, and that is one of the many reasons why this scandal is squarely on her, and I'm telling you.
I agree with everything Megyn Kelly is saying, but she's still not saying what is the most obvious aspect of this, is that Trump is still involved with this disastrous situation as well. Trump is, you can't just sit there and say Trump has no responsibility in this.
I'm of the cable news universe. I've seen it happen a million times. People get thirsty. They love to see themselves on television. They love to see their names in the Klieg lights. They love the attention. They love the little emails and texts and tweets and thumbs up they get after their appearance, and they can feel their star rising. And listen, internally, I'm told there's a bit of like a power struggle between Pam Bondi and another female administration official on who's going to be the top dog. You know, we've got a great bench behind President Trump. We've got JD, we've got Marco, you know, we've got Hegseth. We've got a lot of people who could potentially be next up. But there are some women who've got their eye on that role too.
We need Matt Gaetz. But like Pam Bondi's getting crushed, dude. Retard finder. Possibly the biggest retard of 2025 so far. Holy crap. Possibly the biggest retard of 2025. That's a huge statement. Nick Sortor says, let me be crystal clear. If Bongino is allowed to resign while Bondi stays in place, irreparable damage will be done to the Trump FBI DOJ's credibility. This would be a huge win if for those trying to destroy our country from inside out. Fire Bondi, let Bongino fly. So there you go. There it is. We'll see. We'll see. We got a 50. Trump just unleashed ICE, DHS, etc. on the kids. Prepare for some late nights on YouTube. Is there an update to this? I saw that we had an update. Hang on. I'm looking to see. Hang on. Where's my breaking news people at? Let's see what they're saying. Look, I hate how YouTube has these names now. I think that's Bridget, I think. Oh, no. The memes are out of this world, dude. The memes are out of this world. Let me see. Search here. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm looking now. Oh, here we go. There it is. Judge orders that DHS and ICE halt all indiscriminate immigration stops and arrests in Southern California. In other words, a judge is playing president and telling the Trump administrations to stop picking up so many illegals. Holy shit, dude. How do these judges continue to have all of this authority? How is this fucking possible? It's so frustrating. They're always getting in his way. They're always trying to slow him down. Always. Now, there's another thing I got to show you that I don't like, by the way. And I don't know how true this is or not. This, I think this happened a couple of days ago. Oh, before then, I got to show this one. So if you guys remember when Do you guys remember those reports that Tiger Woods was dating like a Trump? You remember that? I can't remember what her name was or whatever, but do you guys remember that report of Tiger Woods dating some chick that with a Trump name? Do you guys remember that story? Yeah, it was like I don't remember who it is. Hang on. A lot of you don't remember that. What? Okay, some of you do. It's John Jr.'s ex-wife. Okay. So the pictures of that, I remember going around, and so I saw this one right here. Gonna tell my kids that this was Bongino and Bondi before their fallout. That is so fucking believable. Oh my God. It's so great, dude. I was like, okay, that's really good. That's a damn good meme right there. Damn good meme. All right, I was scrolling through my bookmarks and I saw that one, so I figured I'd show you guys that before we get to what I think is the bigger story, or at least one of the bigger stories right here. So I don't really know. There was these reports of Joe Rogan having a private dinner with President Trump, and I guess like saying all this stuff about, immigration right here. Here it is. Okay. So right here. Joe Rogan pressed President Donald J. Trump at a private dinner with UFC CEO Dana White to back off arresting and deporting illegal immigrant workers with no criminal records just days before he slammed at the president on his podcast for insane ICE raids, according to The Independent. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm smarter than Joe Rogan. Okay? But, Joe, I know you have the number one podcast in the world, and you have more money than I'll ever see in my life. You make more money in a day than I'll ever see in my entire lifetime. But do you understand, Joe, that if someone is an illegal immigrant, that would make them a criminal? I know it's crazy. It's a crazy scenario, but if someone has crossed the border illegally and they're in the country illegally, they would be a criminal, Joe. I don't know. Let's just hear what he's got to say.
I mean, that would
imagine if the same ownership was in place and then Harris wins and they continue to ramp things up.
Yeah, I don't know what you think of the new administration. Certainly there are things that I like about and some of their pro-tech posture and things like that. But what's happening now is it's kind of disappointing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We were told there would be no. Well, there's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers
that are here illegally. They're not just construction workers, Joe. They're just illegal immigrants
showing up in construction sites and raiding them. Gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses. Or not, like there's a did you see this video of this Turkish students at Tufts University that wrote an essay, and then there's video of like ICE agents, like I don't know.
Is that the woman?
Yeah.
What was her essay about? It was just critical of Israel, right?
Just critical of Israel. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, guys, it's just a gardener. He's just a gardener. He's just a gardener. He's just a gardener. Why are we messing with gardeners? The poor gardener. Why aren't we messing with the gardeners?
And that's enough to get you kicked out of the country.
I mean, there's a long history of anti-colonial activism in U.S. colleges, that led to South Africa
Yeah.
changing and all of that. And I think this is a continuation of that. I mean, I don't agree with all their, like, there's a lot of radicalism. A lot of young people are attracted to like more radical positions on Israel Palestine, and
which I don't mind those positions as long as someone's able to counter those positions.
Right.
The problem is these supposed free speech warriors want to silence anybody who has a more conservative opinion.
Yes.
That's not the way to handle it. The way to handle it is to have a better argument.
That's not American.
It's not American.
I mean, what attracted him to this country?
Was it American to be here illegally? So, Joe Rogan, I mean, we're talking about a former Bernie bro here. We're talking about a guy who didn't support Trump until literally I guess 2 days before the election. So it's so weird that he's pressing President Trump to don't arrest illegal immigrants. It's mind-blowing to me that he would do that. Even Beardo says every time Bondi is asked, she says, "I'm not releasing the CP. Stop asking like that's what we want." She's discrediting us. Correct. No one is asking for that to be released. No one. Jason J says, Glenn Beck just tweeted Dan has resigned. Yeah, he didn't tweet that Dan has resigned. He tweeted that Dan is going to resign. Marco Rielli says the AOC tweet isn't just defamation. It's defamation per se. I am trained and licensed to be able to give that opinion. Well, thank you. And you've also sent two $50 super chats, which makes you qualified to say anything in my chat. Thank you, Marco Reality. Jin versus Evil Dead says a tone deaf take. We are all pissed about it. The kids. What are you talking about? In reference to what? I'm sorry. That was probably a little bit earlier. X Harnder says maybe every American is tired of being lied to and how corrupt leaders keep getting away with everything. While if it was us, we'd be facing 20 years. Yep. Packy Proton says theory, Trump knew what he was doing when he said don't talk about it. With public pressure building, he'll have no choice to release it, and the consequences would be less with public united on it. I do not agree at all. Hey, there's Next News. What's up, Next News? Hang on. Yo, we played your appearance on Piers Morgan on the show today. Thank you. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Keep up the great work. Next News has been following me forever. You guys have been following me all the way back over on the Geeks and Gamers channel. I remember you guys used to show up in my chat. I was like, holy shit, I've got 1 million sub channel following me. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun being on there. And yes, sir. Yep. Thank you. And yeah, I won't get into details on the 2 million now. 2 million. But back then, I think you had 1 million when it was on Geeks and Gamers. Now you're at 2 million subscribers. Hell yeah. But yeah, as far as Superman, I've seen it twice now. After on my Piers Morgan appearance, I'd seen it once. And now I've seen it twice. And that second viewing only confirmed everything that I felt after the first viewing. So, and by the way, a lot of you have been asking me for certain videos and stuff like that. So I kind of just, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, to be honest with you, but I'm a retard. But I think anybody that follows me knows that. But if you're actually looking for individually uploaded videos, this is the channel you should be following right here. Geeks and Gamers 2. And my review right here for James Gunn's Superman is right here. It's a 41-minute video. And this is clipped out from Geeks and Gamers Daily. So that's where all the individual videos are going these days, is Geeks and Gamers 2. And we're almost at 50,000 subscribers there. So thank you guys for asking me about that. And so that's just a heads up on that. And of course we have D-Day Cobra 2 as well, where all of my videos go to. I know I got a lot of channels. I know it gets frustrating, but it's not my fault. It's YouTube's fault, because YouTube and their algorithm is the YouTube algorithm is like a woman. The moment you have it figured out, you realize you know absolutely nothing. The moment you're like, I got this figured out, and then you realize, oh shit, I know absolutely nothing about this. YouTube algorithm is like a woman, 1000%. Slain Hope says, they want to change the subject. Let's talk about Trump becoming a war hawk, embracing big pharma, lying about no OT tax tips, canceled Fort Knox stream. I don't know if you could say Trump's becoming a war hawk. I don't really understand that. You got some criticisms, that's fine, but he's not a war hawk. I mean, that's just not true. So Analog Popsicle says, did someone say turnaround? 199. Mike's 8268 says, I'm telling you guys, Trump is about to make moves. 3 weeks from now, nobody will be talking about Pam Bondi. I mean, I'm hoping so. Chris Whiting for 20 says, love you, gay at wad. For $30. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Whiskey Faith Firearms for $10 says, hear me out. Alex Jones for Attorney General. CobraCast would be lit. Boy, would it ever. That would be something, all right. Bubba Doom says, Bondi has always set my bullshit meter off. Pirate of Las Vegas says, Scam Bondi 2025 Beard of Shame winner. Bird Up says, I thought we were done with these creepy leftist judges cock blocking everything Trump administration does. Yeah, I did too, but here we are. Whiskey Faith Firearms says, pull up clips of Tucker at Turning Point. Probably not going to be invited back. Yep, I talked about that about 45 minutes ago. Mike's says, if someone breaks into Joe Rogan's home, they're just a resident. Yeah, man, it's an absolutely tone-deaf take. It's an insane tone-deaf take for him to say that. I'm blown away by that, man. Brockatron says, so is Bongino going to resign and not talk about the truth on his podcast? If he is, why not just do it now while he has protection and the ability? Yeah, that would be interesting, because if Bongino does resign, obviously Bongino would go back to having one of, if not the biggest podcast in the entire world. And you would have to believe that if he's trying to regain, we're talking hypothetical here. So let's just go with the hypothetical. If Bongino resigns, goes back to his podcast, and doesn't talk transparently, then any credibility that he's trying to regain, he would lose. Because he wouldn't. Now, again, would he legally not be able to talk about these things? Maybe. But, you know, let me see. Got that one. Okay. Holy crap. Bebop says, I'm not saying I'm smarter than Joe Rogan. I is smarter than Jeremy Doe. Thank you, Bebop. Good to see you here, Bebop. Let's see. Drake 355 or 3555 says, those illegal construction workers severely drive down wages and prices. I've suffered from that firsthand, losing work to illegal shoddy work. 100%. But Joe Rogan thinks they're not hurting anyone. Sola Felix says, newsflash, Joe Rogan, illegal aliens have no effing rights. Vault 95 says, you keep saying criminal aliens wrong. All right. Oh, over on Rumble, says Johnny Witzkid says, ever since the cabinet meetings, I've been feeling dejected, confused, and just down. After hearing Trump's comment, I just didn't feel like listening to him talk anymore. I really wasn't sure what to feel. I'm willing to believe that Epstein is still alive and under surveillance watch. That would be my conspiracy theory. At this point, anything can be a possibility. If I'm right, I deserve a shout out. Time will tell. Time will tell. I don't think he's alive, but I also am not willing to believe anything we're hearing at this point. 3 for 20, says Jer, who's going to process Cali's corporate cannabis in the industrial age factory owners defended child labor. We need, quote, we need children. Their small hands can reach in to repair machines at night when the factories are closed. So I heard that there was some controversy about this, but I've been so buried on the pop culture side of things. I didn't like this whole California controversy thing. I have not heard much about the details of it. So I saw a bunch of stuff with like Gavin Newsom and all of that, but I don't know. Let me see here. Good to see you, 3. Appreciate you. Oh no. You guys remember that picture of Trump where he's like standing there and his pants are pulled up like really high and he's like got his hat off and he's like, is everybody having a good time? Well, the memers, there it is now. This is cursed. This is cursed. Holy shit. Woo! Like that is cursed right there. So I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure it's real. You know, it's interesting because this is a question. Do you think President Trump knows about the Bongino-Bondi dilemma? You know, we have to think about this from a common sense level standpoint. And Donald Trump is the most important human being on the planet, and he is dealing with the most complex issues in the world. Now, a lot of times it seems like he's plugged in to a lot of things. But I think that it's logical to think that he probably is not aware of this. I would believe he's not aware of this right now. Because I think that Trump gets, well, I will say Fox News has actually been talking about it some. And he gets a lot of his information from Fox News. He gets a lot of information from them, actually. Let's go to their YouTube channel right now and look. Fox News. Have they been talking about this? Let's see. Oh, well, yes. 2 hours ago, they've talking about it. Right there. So, right here.
Also breaking tonight, a feud at the Justice Department over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. A source tells Fox News tonight that the FBI Deputy Director, Dan Bongino, has not been seen in the office since Wednesday after a heated argument with Attorney General Pam Bondi at the White House. Our correspondent David Spunt has this story.
A verbal clash between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino at the White House this week over the release of DOJ's Epstein memo. The two-pager out earlier this week insists the convicted sex trafficker and offender killed himself, and a client list does not exist after all. Fox is told by 4 separate sources Bongino is so upset about the rollout of the memo, he didn't show up to work on Friday in protest. One source says he hasn't been seen in the office since the argument with the Attorney General. Bondi teased the release of the Epstein material for months.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
But earlier this week, when pressed,
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
the White House is defending the Attorney General. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, in a statement to Fox News, says the president is proud of Bondi's efforts, adding the continued fixation on sowing division in President Trump's cabinet is baseless and unfounded in reality. FBI Director Kash Patel staying silent in the matter, at least publicly. He's been criticized online, along with Bondi and Bongino, by Trump supporters who feel the administration is being dismissive and not candid about Epstein.
A source close to Bongino says he's thinking about resigning over this memo rollout, although no final decision has been made. Meanwhile, sources close to Director Patel and the Attorney General say they plan to stay right where they are. Aisha?
Okay, David Spunt staying on top of this one for us. Thank you, David.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Well, maybe it has hits Trump's radar because I just wanted to get a shot at her because I wanted to see her because they didn't pan over to her at the end. You know, they were like right there. I was like, I think the audience deserves to see her. But Anyway, yeah, Trump is probably aware of this because it's hit the mainstream, I would think. But like, look at this clip right here. Okay, now let me preface what I'm going to say right now. I don't really care for care for this person is different. I know this person has a severe bias. Great YouTuber within his lane for sure, but he has TDS, and that would be CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla put this montage together of all of the stuff that has been said surrounding the Epstein situation. So we're going to watch it right here. So here we go.
On Jeffrey Epstein. Enjoy. This is a montage of the changing stories on Jeffrey Epstein. Enjoy.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. That island was...
Nice guy. Got some problems with the island. God, Trump. What the fuck?
Really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Who killed Jeffrey Epstein?
This doesn't look right. It doesn't look like a suicide.
You know, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. His plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It'd be interesting to find out what happened there because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking ring.
Absolutely, Senator. Child trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past.
Release the list. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
This is so like when she was on, whenever Pam Bondi talks, it just sounds so disingenuous. It sounds so disingenuous. And then when she was on with Jesse Waters, it was, I hated her answers.
Sitting on my desk right now to review.
A lot of people are wondering.
Here it is,
'cause
right
you
here.
said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. Is when can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims, 200. So we have over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
I hate how she delivers this. I hate it. Breaking news. You're going to see some Epstein. Like, I hate everything about this clip of her. I hate this so much.
well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
Just hearing her and knowing that we got none of this shit is just infuriating to listen to this shit. It's so fucking aggravating. It's so aggravating.
Recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable.
Flight logs tied to accused trafficker Jeffrey Epstein have been released to some conservative political commentators. They walked out of the White House holding binders.
There it is, the infamous cringe influencer photo op. This will never not be a massive black eye for the Trump administration. The Pokemon cards, that's right, the Pokemon binders.
The Epstein files.
There was an expectation that this was going to be bigger. You had the same expectation.
We all did. And the FBI handed over a couple hundred pages of documents. But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Kash is also, now that we have Kash here, it's a game changer, of course. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein.
Now, somebody says, remember Trapper Keepers. I don't know how many of you remember Trapper Keepers, but for the old people like me, Trapper Keepers were the bomb back in the day. Okay. I 100% remember Trapper Keepers. Trapper Keepers were amazing.
Is that the only thing that would be redacted? Will everything else be made public?
It's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know.
What we know is that this was a large network of high-profile, high-dollar predators who abused untold numbers of minors. Only one person has been prosecuted for these crimes, and that is Ghislaine Maxwell.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is.
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Did Jeffrey Epstein himself, or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing.
Elitist answer. Nobody gives a fuck about your qualifications, Kash. We all pushed for you to be in this position because we felt like you were the person. Nobody gives a fuck how qualified you are. Elitist asshole bullshit. No one gives a shit. It would be like me getting on my stream every night and talking about my retail career. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. It would be cringe if I got on here and talked about my retail career. Nobody gives a shit how qualified you are.
You know a side when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get, I've seen the whole file.
The Epstein files. What's the answer to that?
The answer to that is the same as everything else. I'm not going to withhold information from the American public ever, but I'm also not going to rush to get it out there in a format in which they can't rely on it. So on the Epstein matter or any other matters, we are diligently working on that. And it takes time to go through years of investigations, years of political maneuvering, and years of cover-up to get the American people what they deserve. And that's what I'm going to give them. And you're going to get the video of the cell. And you're going to see for yourself.
We do have video. It's not the greatest video in the world. I don't want to set expectations on fire. However, the video does show in that specific block that he goes in, made a phone call. You'll see 12 hours of guards going in basically.
But this edited, there's a minute that's edited, and now we have reports that it's been doctored, which, you know, we'll see if how true those reports end up being. But like, there is a minute missing from it. How do you expect us to believe anything when you took a minute out of it?
We check on him, come back. You'll see no one really comes out in that bay, in that area, than him. There's no one in there. When you combine that with the other evidence where we will be releasing in the coming weeks, we're still finalizing some of the products. I think it's pretty clear.
Overnight, the FBI and Justice Department.
Someone said, how is this related to working retail? That was me being a sarcastic asshole. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I forget that some people are watching me that don't understand that I use a ton of sarcasm. I am always sarcastic.
Releasing 11 hours of footage they say helps confirm notorious financier Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in his Manhattan jail cell in 2019. But perhaps the biggest bombshell, investigators say they found no incriminating client list of Epstein's, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, and no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the
Yeah, sure. If
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Oof.
That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Yeah, rare Trump.
We went for this all morning long, big showdown.
Rare Trump L right there for sure. That is one of the biggest L's Trump has ever had. So the Cam Man, what's up, Cam Man, says, can you please stop swearing so much? Manti Te'o's ex-girlfriend DM'd me and told me it's killing them. Mod lives matter. Manti Te'o. Dude, that Manti Te'o has got to be the craziest story of all time. Yeah, I mean, the story with Epstein, the administration has been bad. There's no other way to spin it. And because of the administration's terrible handling of this, it's going to continue. And I don't know. I don't know how this ends. I really don't. But I think Trump's going to have to address it sooner than later. He's going to have to. Let's see. Gosh, this is like so tough to read these names, but it's for $10. Something burn. Can we send ice after Beardo? Isn't he Dan's Brazilian brother? We can try. I'm all for trying. Let's see. AC 9339 says they'll never be able to deport them all, but they have to get enough for everyone as a deterrent to prevent more from coming. It needs to seem scary. Ignition Source says, Force of the Trees. Hey, what's up, man? The timing of the FBI release just after Trump's wins is suspect. I'm concerned he made a deal to get the big, beautiful bill passed. I don't know, man. I don't believe in coincidences in the world of politics, so I just don't. I think that everything happens for a reason in the world of politics. So I don't believe in coincidences. So Forest of the Tree says Bongino and Cash have lost credibility regardless of what happens. They talked tough from the outside and then didn't stand tough on the inside. Spoke a 180. They should have threatened to resign before doing press tours. It's a tough situation, man. I mean, I don't want to sit there and just, I don't want to just, these guys, they went in with the best of intentions, probably. I have no idea what it's like inside, so I'm not going to pretend that I understand what they're dealing with, but all I can do is call balls and strikes, and from what I've seen from them, I'm not very impressed, but I have no idea what it was actually like, and it's impossible to understand that. I mean, even Trump, I think Trump underestimated the swamp his first time as president. I think he absolutely underestimated it. And how could he have known how bad it was? But I certainly think that he underestimated it. And that's why he had so many personnel problems during his first administration, because I don't think that he fully understood how messy and dirty and filthy the political world is. It's a horrible world full of horrible people. It just is. I did see a funny tweet from Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey said, Washington, D.C. is just Hollywood for ugly people. I was like, holy shit. 10 out of 10 tweet. Thomas Massey, Washington, D.C. is just Hollywood for ugly people. I was like, damn, that is on point, Thomas Massey. All right. That is on point. So it was good. Mad Frog says Bongino's worth $150 million. They must have threatened him. Packy Proton says, tagged you on a tweet, a news cycle about a fire chief in Texas getting under fire for not sending rescue teams to the floods. All right, I'll check it out. Bubba Doom says, how the hell did Blondie get picked? Well, she wasn't his first pick. His first pick was Matt Gaetz, and they made it very clear that they were never going to nominate Matt Gaetz. And you got to think that they probably wouldn't nominate Gaetz, or they probably wouldn't confirm Gaetz, I'm sorry, for the reason of he would have done everything he could to expose all of this corruption with the Epstein stuff. Mad Frog says, when I see the before and after of Cash, Bongino, and Pam, I feel like, is it Mugata from Zoolander? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I haven't seen Zoolander in, God, it feels like 15, 20 years. I don't know how long ago Zoolander came out. It's been a long time since I saw Zoolander, though. Solo Felix says, Lindsey Graham was happy with Bondi AG. It says it all. Yeah, that's true. River Miles says Epstein and Cosby were different kinds of trapper keepers. Mod Eric says, what? Jeremy worked retail? Where were you keeping this a secret? I try. Let's see. Bridget says, for 20, says Patel's crazy eyes. I want to, but I can't look away. Remember those Cash memes? Remember this one right here? Where's it at? Do I still have it? Remember this one? This is what we used to celebrate. We used to celebrate you, Cash. We used to drop this one right here.
877 Cash now. 877 Cash now. They help thousands, they'll help you too. One lump sum of cash they will pay to you. Get long-term payments, but you need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 Cash now. 877 Cash now. 877 Cash now. 877 Cash now.
It's such a great clip too, man. Aged like milk. It absolutely did. We used to play that all the time. Matt Frog says they think we're really retarded. We're not that retarded. Not that. But it looks like Alex Jones has responded to Stephen A. Smith. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. So Stephen A. called out Alex Jones by not saying his name, and Alex Jones has responded.
Listen, I like Stephen A. Smith. I've liked him for a long time, and he sees the world's waking up, so he's kind of coming over to Trump world. He puts out this video, I'll post right next to this, saying we're treating Trump like the Antichrist because we're pissed off by the Epstein list. They promised to release it. We know it's there. We know there's all these terabytes.
There's nothing wrong with holding Trump accountable for what he said he was going to do. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, just to be clear.
So videos, it's come out in all these court investigations and indictments. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of human trafficking. Now they put out a Justice Department memo a week ago saying it doesn't exist and he wasn't even a human trafficker. Ben Shapiro now says he didn't even jaywalk now, that Epstein's basically innocent. So it's this 180. It's this PR disaster. We then worry about what else is about to happen. No, all day long I talk about the positive stuff Trump does and how I want to support him and how I want to back him, want him to succeed. But I told people when this broke last Sunday or whatever, I said, this is a firestorm. Not with me, but with the public. You see the shakeup at the DOJ, the FBI, Bongino about to resign, Patel, all of it. This is a big deal, guys, because those files, those videos, that information is there. It's come out in court, a whole bunch of it. So Ben Shapiro can say it doesn't exist. It does, and that's the issue now. It's being told nothing ever happened. There's no list. There's no blackmail. Nobody ever human trafficked, even though his partner in crime, Ghislaine, went to prison for it, even though her dad was Mossad, MI6, running it in mainstream news articles 15, 20 years ago. I mean, look, we're just informed, Smith. So I'm glad you're starting to get caught up and get woke up here, and I get it. I'm in horror over this.
Stephen A. Smith is not just finding his way over to the Trump side. Stephen A. is the greatest fence sitter in history. He makes Tim Pool look like a hardcore MAGA supporter. Stephen A. is the greatest fence sitter of all time.
I want Trump to succeed. I need him to. The Democrats trying to put me in prison. But we're not like Democrats. They're in a cult and just accept what the leadership says. We put Trump in power, and so people are pissed off. I'm going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The public is getting pissed, okay? This is a major miscalculation. For whatever reason this happened, that's the facts, okay? That's what's going on. We're not a cult. And so we demand more from our populist leaders than the Democrats do from their communist pedophile leaders. Got it? That's it. We don't want Trump or the DOJ, anybody joining in on the Epstein cover-up. We know what went on. It's the key of the deep state. We're not going to stop. Streisand effect in effect. Comprende?
Get him, Alex. Get him, Alex. Okay, so I wanted to play that one. And right here, Harley Dave, I don't know if he's watching, but my boy Harley Dave just tweeted this out and I saw it. So Trump said, I'm on my way back from Texas and watched in disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers while they were moving down a roadway in their car and or official vehicle. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, in that it shows such total disrespect for law and order. Therefore, I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and Border Czar Tom Homan to instruct all ICE, Homeland Security, and any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of a thrown rock, brick, or any other form of assault to stop their car and arrest these slime balls using whatever means necessary to do so. I am giving total authorization for ICE to protect itself just like they protect the public. I never want to see a car carrying law enforcement officers attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Harley, for tweeting that out, because I did not see that earlier. That is awesome. Eric says the marks on Epstein's neck do not match you said March sheets. The marks on Epstein's neck do not match Sheets. There you go. You corrected it this time. Plus, the neck was broken. It just does not add up. Bird Up says, did ICE deport Ivan and Hijabi Gamer? That's why they're no longer on Geeks and Gamer streams anymore. Josh says, why buy male models? What? Brian says, any Epstein evidence was deleted before the FBI even got their cars to arrest him. Schmobody says, just got here, don't know your take. Blondie has got to be cut loose, period. She's a clown. Sharing that anywhere and everywhere that is being discussed. And then 187 cash, 1877 cash now for $1. Back to that $5. Well, I mean, I agree that Pam Bondi needs to go. I don't think that I don't think that that's going to solve problems per se. Like a lot of people think. A lot of people think if Pam Bondi is fired or whatever, that's going to solve all the problems. That's not going to solve the problems. It's just not. And so that has to be understood that getting rid of her is one step, but that's it. 877 cash now says, Jeremy, you added the one. You know, I'm a retard. Let's see. Where's my username? I feel naked. Trust me, reading some of this shit, I'm like, I can't even read your name. I don't know. YouTube has changed it again, so we'll see what happens. I don't know how long this is going to last or if it's going to last. No telling. No telling with them. Let's see. Trying to see. I guess people are, what is this? Hang on. I don't know. I'll bookmark that for later. It's some entertainment stuff. Yeah, the name, it's permanent. It probably will end up being permanent. We had already heard that it was going to be permanent, and they changed it back temporarily, and then they changed it back again. Here's Tucker Carlson right here at the Turning Point event.
Yes, sir. Questions? Yes, sir. What do I think about amnesty for farm workers? I think it's the most grotesque thing I've ever heard. Are you joking? Amnesty for farm workers? We have like 60 million illegal aliens in the country. The country bears no resemblance to the country I grew up in, and it's not better, it's worse. So I'm not going to sit for another lecture from anybody telling me we need to import more people to write code or pick grapes or any other task. Period. It hasn't worked. The country hasn't gotten richer. It hasn't become more unified. Those words should burn on the tongue of anyone who utters them. How dare you talk like that? Amnesty. How about deportation? What about that?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Tucker. Hell yeah. And I don't know why this is even a conversation. I really don't understand why this is even a conversation. It's mind-blowing that this is even a conversation. But yet here we are. Insane. I'm sick and fucking tired of it. Sick of it. This should not be a conversation under any circumstances whatsoever. None. Now, if you didn't hear this earlier, this is the footage for Jeffrey Epstein's cell was released by the DOJ and was edited by Adobe Premiere Pro. Are you kidding me? It was edited. This is like a YouTuber. This is like some YouTube bullshit. Insane. Harley Daves has learned to code. What's up, Harley? Good to see you here, brother. Yeah, so this was reported earlier that they've edited. It was edited by Adobe Premiere Pro. I mean, you could have just used Filmora. That's what I use. Tree Bear did it. Tree Bear, did you edit this together? Metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired, an independent video forensic expert, shows that rather than being a direct export from the prison surveillance system, the footage was modified. This is a disaster. Was it Perry Chan? Perry Chan would have done a better job than the shit that they gave us. You probably would have believed what Perry Chan put together. Good Lord. What is this? I don't know if I've heard. How long is this clip? Is this? Harley Dave for 20 says, "Hey dude, what's new? You ever worked in retail?" I have never talked about my retail work here. I would never do that. I respect my audience way too much. So I would never actually do that. But maybe one day on a members only stream, I'll hide it behind a paywall. But I would never talk publicly about my retail experience. I would never do that. Steve from PA says, Leno used the DC as Hollywood for ugly people line 30 years ago, and trapper keepers are the GOAT. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, I knew Massey wasn't the first one that said it. I've heard it before, but it was just funny that Massey said it in the middle of all this, but I knew he wasn't the first. And trapper keepers were the GOAT. They absolutely were. 877 Cash now says Bongino did say he was going to release it enhanced. He did say they were going to enhance it so you could see it better. So that is true. That is true. That is a good point. That is a good point. All right, right here. The Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files has been a massive unforced error. So let's hear this.
What a massive unforced error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search.
Calm down, buddy.
On Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans into stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. This is a story in which he's trying to get away from, basically saying, why is anyone still interested in this story? But the bottom line is people are very interested in this story to historic degrees, at least this week.
Somebody said or.
Some perspective, you see that 1,200 number about other stories in comparison, how people are viewing this one.
Yeah, okay. So, I mentioned tariffs earlier on, right? Epstein has been Googled a lot since Monday. He has actually been Googled 1.4 times as much as tariffs has been Googled. And that is, of course, a huge news story. How about Grok, which is another insane news story this week? I mean, my goodness gracious. But in fact, Epstein has been Googled 2.5 times as much as the Grok story has been Googled. So the bottom line is this is a story in which there's a lot of interest. And it's one of the few stories in which both Steve Bannon and Elon Musk are going after Trump. At least the Trump administration, he's managed to bring together two parts of the administration or two parts of the fan base that have normally been against each other.
Yeah, you can bet on anything, and this proves it. What are you seeing as far as whether or not people think that they will actually release these Epstein files?
Yeah, I know my buddy Vin from Jersey would love for the Trump administration to release more Epstein files. But get this, Trump releasing more Epstein files in 2025. This is the betting market odds. You go back 2 months ago, it was 43%. You go back even a month ago, it was 39%. But now it's just at 20%. I think that there are going to be a lot of the normally MAGA fan base who are going to be very disappointed. And this is
the definition of an unforced error right here. This is a definition of it. Harley says, Jeremy never reads chat. Bebop for 20 says, when are we getting your book from retail to gay? You're never getting a book from me, man. I'm not that interesting. So not that interesting at all. JD Corey for 5 on Rumble says, why amnesty for farmers is a thing is because of the snake Secretary of Agriculture, who is corrupt, big industrial farmer hack. Trump has too many America First policy institute scum. Thank you for the 5. Let's see here. But yeah, that is a definition of an unforced error. And can they correct it? Will they correct it? Will this get addressed on a much larger level? No telling. But I do think that there's something interesting that Trump now has basically failed with every attorney general pick that he has had. Every single one of them. So, like, this is the guy that we need as attorney general right here.
I take no lecture on, and when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, oh, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
I love that. I love how he's like, boo all you want, motherfuckers. Boo all you want. Harley Dave with 50 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. One more time. We got to listen to that one more time.
And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, oh, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Let's go. Matt Gaetz right there. The hero we deserve right there. And of course, the hero we have as well and deserve is Harley Dave. That's 100 gifted memberships. 100 gifted memberships. 100. Holy crap. Harley Mad Lad Dave. That's his name now. Harley Mad Lad Dave. Juan Guitar for 10 says, for the hardest working man on the tubes, thank you for the excellent coverage of what's going on. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Listen, man, as long as people are happy, and I try to keep the show flowing, try to keep a lot of information out there. That's really all I want to do. Just make sure people are entertained. And as long as you feel entertained, I consider that a good thing. So, there was another clip I wanted to show you. Give me a minute. Let me find it. Let's see. Is that all right? Well, Perez is back. Perez is back right here. So Trump is back from Texas. It's him and the First Lady. That was about probably 45 minutes ago. So he is back, and hopefully he's getting to work, and hopefully somebody is making him aware of the nonsense going on at the FBI right now. Hopefully. Somebody in the chat just said sitting here all day is not hard. Let me explain something to you. Being a streamer is one of the most difficult and challenging jobs that any human being can have. You don't understand the stress. Do you know what I go through every day to be a streamer? I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, okay? This is not for you to feel sorry for me. But do you know that I have to wake up every day and I have to wonder if my internet will be interrupted? I have to wonder if the internet is going to work. Do you know how tough that is? Do you know how tough that is? Like, seriously, give me money right now. This is very, very difficult and a trying time. So please don't be so disrespectful now that you know the trauma that I go through. Thank you. Somebody said thank you for your service. Let's see here. So anyway, I just wanted to show that Prez and the First Lady did return from their trip to Texas. Look at that. Thank you, Harley Dave. This is how I'm able to continue moving forward for a 199. What a nice guy Harley Dave is. This is why I do what I do right here. Thank you so much. Eric CB says Gates is what libertarians claim Massey is. He also didn't take AIPAC money, and he was far more effective in less time in Congress. Yes, he was. He's a Florida man too. He's a Florida man, and you know he's been a badass. I hope he gets back involved in politics. I absolutely hope so. Time will tell. So. Let's see over on, I got that caught up on Rumble. So I will, yesterday I didn't stream because, so I was planning on seeing Superman Thursday, and then I ended up seeing it Tuesday because Gary called me and he was telling me about the Piers Morgan deal or whatever. So, I ended up going to see it yesterday too. And, I just had some family stuff I had to catch up on. So, but I'll probably stream Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And then obviously we'll get rolling back, next week. So I'll probably live just like I did last weekend. I'll probably stream Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll do gaming streams in the evening. So be on the lookout for that this weekend. Jessica says, why? Cam says, mod lives matter. Bro saw Superman 3 times. No, only twice. I'm not watching it again. I'm done. So just do gaming streams all day long. You may grift on the latest thing. I've never grifted off the latest thing. What are you talking about? Me grifting? Really? No way, man. I'm genuine. I do not stream for the money. I stream for the community and the good conversation, guys. I don't stream for the money. I just do it for the love of the game. So nothing about the money. Nothing. Eric says, feel better, Jeremy. Power through. You got this. Sean Living Life says, you haven't played the Trump. I'm going to come. Yeah, I did. I played it earlier, but I could play it again.
Should I do it?
We got to start out with this just for the hell of it, because Harley Dave dropped 100 gifted memberships. 100 gifted memberships from Harley Dave means that we get a little bit of jiggle physics up in here. Okay, that's how it works around here.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
Come on, baby. Come on. I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come. Beautiful white paint. It's coming down at 10,000 miles an hour. It's coming down at levels of speed that nobody ever even conceived of. Where it's rough, but it's coming, and now it's turned around. It turns around, and it's coming, and it's gonna. I said, oh, because you see at that bottom, this section right here, that sucker's. Oh.
Chad Layton says Jeremy needs to be awarded the National Defense Service Medal for his outstanding service to our nation. LOL, you're welcome for his service. Look at that. That's so nice. I like that. Dead and Dug Up says you should watch the Matt Gaetz, Bill Clinton kid interview. I saw that a while back. It's probably something we should revisit. I do remember seeing that one though. Clay Edwards show says, don't forget tomorrow or Sunday is the 1-year anniversary of Trump getting shot. Holy crap. I forgot. I didn't forget about that. I know people have been talking about it. So that's crazy that we are at that point. 1 year. Wow. Sean Living Life says, how much for a turnaround? I am Brockatron says, if Trump doesn't want to fire Pam, do you think Kash and Dan will leave? And then the anti-Trump be anti-Trump because they felt betrayed. I imagine Kash turning on Donald Trump. I'll be honest, man. Trump does not want Bongino against him. I mean, obviously, he can't, nobody's going to out Trump, but like, you do not want Bongino to be against you with his following. Absolutely not. He does not want that. You do not want that smoke. That would be very, very, very bad for him. Also, in general, Pam Bondi is so incredibly unpopular right now with the MAGA base that not only would you, if you risk losing Bongino and Kash, you're going to be losing a fuck ton of support from the MAGA base because she is incredibly unpopular. And no one really likes her. No one really wants, like, nobody likes Pam Bondi. Nobody. Loki says, what credibility does Bongino have? Well, credibility in reference to what? Like, you've got to, like, what in reference to what? I mean, he did used to work. Isn't he former military and Secret Service? And of course, the number one podcaster at the time of him walking away, which there is something to be respected about the fact that this man walked away from the biggest platform, on the internet to take over. So, yeah, I mean, he was a New York cop and Secret Service agent. There you go. So it depends on how you're asking what credibility he has is what in reference to what. I mean, if you ask me, what credibility do I have? None. Next question. But Dan Bongino actually has a lot of credibility in a lot of different ways. So 130 mil in Rumble stock. That's a lot. That's a lot. Greg Kirby's here. What's up, Greg Kirby? You still have more than Blondie? Harley says, I'm here. Jeremy has retail street cred. I'm pretty good at Mario Kart. That's about all I have going for me, to be honest. So, yeah, when people are like, what credibility do you have? I'm like, I'm decent at Mario Kart, if that helps. So, I don't know if that helps. So, like, if I go to like a political convention, they're like, what do you specialize in? And I'm like, I'm good at Mario Kart. I'm okay at it. Harley says no one actually works retail. Jeremy should just start a retail podcast. Not bad. Not bad. Harley Davis, the man. I agree with that. Customer service skills. I got to tell you, being in customer service, it is definitely something you learn. It is something you have to sit there and deal with the back in my day, because I'm such an old man, but back in my day when I did work retail, we didn't have the term Karen. We just had what we called Karens is that fat, ugly bitch. So, like we didn't have the term Karen. So we'd say, hey, that fat, ugly bitch is complaining. We got to go deal with her. That's essentially what we'd call her. So, which I think is a lot like more direct, when calling them that. So yeah, it worked. So, all right, we're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be live again tomorrow and Sunday. I don't know what time yet, but I will be live again this weekend, both days, and we'll be covering the latest. And I do expect a big day on Monday. I expect a big day on Monday with a lot of this news. So expect me to probably be live probably right after Geeks and Gamers Daily or shortly after Geeks and Gamers Daily on Monday. And then I'll probably do 2 streams on Monday because we're going to have a lot to catch up on, because I think a lot of this news is going to happen on Monday. So we shall see. But I really do appreciate all of you. I hope you have a good evening. And don't forget the CobraCast merch Monday. It was going to end tonight. I'm ending it on Monday. So if you're interested in getting some CobraCast merch, please go over to Teespring. We have these right here. We have hoodies. And of course, we also have the Agent 199 alligator enforcement shirts over there, IDOT. So make sure you go and check that out. I hope you guys have a good evening, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Damn it, Harley. Leadership. There. Harley says leadership. I didn't know what you said. Leadership. Harley, Mad Lad, Dave. And then somebody says buy merch with a Krista Nova picture. Well, that means that Kean's going to do it. So, all right, guys. Thank you. Have a good evening. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye. I just thought Harley was going to try to send another super chat, so I've been waiting. So this is what you fuckers do. Now I don't even know when I can end the stream now. So I'm just sitting here waiting to see if Harley's going to send like another like $2 super chat just to troll me. The hell. And you guys think this is a very difficult job. Who else has to deal with shit like this? Bye, everyone.